Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. I've been putting this one off for a little while, but today I'm finally taking a look at the new Age of the Prime's Titan class Star Optimus Prime, or maybe you call him Star Convoy.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So here's our Titan class Star Optimus Prime in his vehicle mode, and this is going to be how we start this review off, in his vehicle mode. If ever there was the definition of a robot just laying down and moving his arms around a little bit in order to be a vehicle, it's this. I mean, looking at this thing, first off, it's a Titan class figure, so it is rather large, but like, looking at the top, those are his knees. They're not hiding all that much, and like, there are his feet. It does roll quite nicely, actually. But the front of the cab, let me just kind of bring it forward here for you to see. How the heck am I going to do this? Oh, angles. Why do you have to hate me? So anyway, here's the front of the cab. You can see it does indeed look like an Optimus Prime, truck. It has the nice gray grille. It's got the wheels. It's got the blue windows. It also has these additional blasters at the top that are movable, and they also hinge up and down, so you can really move these around. But, we do have the somewhat iconic blue Optimus Prime stripe across it, and hey, look, there's an Autobot badge on the back. So it has pretty much all the markings. I mean, the underside is like, hey, look, he's laying down. He's got these awesome tank treads here. But yeah, he is essentially just laying down. It's not the most exciting of alt modes. Then again, like, what were you expecting? If you've ever seen a Star Convoy, Star Optimus Prime, you kind of know what you're getting into. And I'm just going to apologize now, because I will probably end up calling this guy Star Convoy, because that was what he originally was called a billion times this review. So yeah, so he looks cool. I mean, if you had the vintage Star Convoy, this is what you got, essentially. A couple extra panels, bells and whistles on this one, but for the most part, pretty neat. Now, there are some weapons and things that you can stick all along this guy. There is, of course, this very large blaster, which, just to say, there is this blue kind of bullet in here, which might be stuck now that I did it, but this thing was in, I can't get the bullet out, but you can see it in there. This was in the package with no real identification of what it was supposed to be doing. I just figured out, and I probably saw some other people post, that it is supposed to be like a bullet in the chamber of this pretty massive rifle here. So you can stick this gun on top of him, just like that. It does look like a pretty cool cannon. There is another cannon here, which if you don't want to use the big one, you can always swap this out. Now it's not going to fit with the black peg, so you're going to have to kind of use the blue peg, although that's really loose too. So now it has me wondering if this is supposed to go somewhere else. Oh, you know what? Plug right here. There is a plug right here off to the left of the camera. Here we go. That's where this one goes. So I do take that back. You can fit both, and they look like this. The original Star Convoy, there was a motorized gimmick, and this would spin as the tank treads were moving. So that was probably that's definitely an homage to that. And otherwise, yeah, this is what it looks like. Now, we're not going to go directly to robot mode, because this has a base mode. So we're going to take our time and get into Star Convoy's base mode. There is Star Convoy's base mode. You can open the chest up if you want to. The official instructions say to keep it closed. I believe in the original one, you could leave the chest open and there'd be like a weapons platform there. But yeah, this is his base mode. And it really just looks like Star Convoy like sitting down with a thing hanging off his butt. I don't love it. I never loved the original Star Convoy base mode. It's definitely a thing that exists. You can mess with it if you want. But it's really not my favorite. I think at some point, I don't want to blame Hasbro. I don't want to throw shade at them, but I think they really thought, like the Micromaster idea was going to take off, and that all these base modes that we could interlock with other bases would be really cool. And on paper, it is cool, but in practice, I don't think it comes across very well. So yeah, that's just how I feel about that. So here is Star Optimus Prime, Star Convoy, in his base mode. I think the best thing to do, the next thing to do, really, would be to get him into his robot mode. And to get him into his robot mode, a couple things have to happen. You're going to remove this backpack piece and just kind of fold everything back to its original configuration. This will go back on his legs in a few moments. You are going to basically stand the dude up. Let me raise my camera real quick so you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to stand him on up, and the calves are now going to close again. Those shins, we're going to bring the toes out like this. These pieces on the side, you just kind of pull them down gently, and they will connect onto the side via a little tab slot, just like that. Same thing on this side, just like that. This little piece, fold back up to his butt. Rotate this around. Skirt piece, just make sure it's folded down. And there we go. Now, this side piece fell off. You saw the other one fall off before. And they are just friction pegged in. They are a little bit of a pain to get. I will say I do have some trouble getting them in, but just be careful with them, and you won't hopefully have the problem that I'm having right now. There we go. And we're almost done. You do want to lift the Optimus Prime head back up. It pops into place. It pegs into place. And the last thing to do would be turning him around. We still have the legs here missing their pieces from before, so you're going to take this, and it just connects back on. I want to say just like this. Let me get this. Oh, hang on. There we go. It should just kind of pop back on like that. There we go. Little squeeze, and they're good. All right, so here is Star Optimus Prime, otherwise known as Star Convoy, in his robot mode splendor. And just to kind of look at him, you know, you do have a very nice Star Convoy head. These pieces were not attached out of the box, so you did have to attach them, but they are there now. I like the blue on the chest. It looks very Optimus Prime-y. And I love the little gold star piece on his chest. I think that looks great. I really like how he has not only the Autobot symbol on his shoulders, but it has this neat little, like, almost like elite guard-ish thing to it. The shoulder cannons can go up and down, and they can go side to side. You can rotate them however you want. I tend to keep them like that. We do have nicely detailed arms where you can see the truck cab. So, you know, that is the cab from before, but it just becomes the arms in robot mode, which is a nice touch. You don't always see the cab becoming the arms for Optimus Prime. There we go. I love the headlight look in the front here, as well as I even like the skirt. You know, it's not the most exciting thing, but it's there. The back is kind of boring. You do have this design carrying over from the truck part, but otherwise not a whole lot. Treads look cool, and yeah, gold on the kneecaps there. We have the shins, everything else. You know, everything you've seen before, because it was just kind of like a guy lying down. You can split the legs apart for posability, and that will also cause the tank tread pieces to split apart. It is a little tricky. They do get a little stuck, but with enough force, you can do it, no problem. And then he does have ankle tilts, ankle pivots, whatever you want to say, to help him stand a little better. All right, in terms of articulation, we'll go through that. He does have maneuverability at the head, left and right. Can't really go back, but you did see that it can go forward. So if you want him to kind of inhumanly look down, you can. And there is that nice snap to let you know when you're there. At the body, we do have a nice clicky waist joint, so we know that that works. At the arms, nice clicky ratchet to go all the way around and to extend outward. Because of transformation, this piece does pop out too, but they do snap in against the chest when he's in robot mode. We do have rotation underneath the bicep there, and single jointed elbow. The hands will rotate and they will open as well, so you can get kind of expressive with these hands. I like that personally. At the legs are going to go forward that much. The skirt piece in the front does get in the way a little bit, and then at the side they can kick out pretty far. You can do a full Van Damme. This is going to go all the way out. We do have rotation at the thigh, and we have single jointed knee bend. Nothing else down at the foot other than the ankle pivot, which looks pretty good. It doesn't really break up the look of the robot all that much. So yeah, I do like it. I do think he's pretty cool, and he is pretty big and you know, I don't want to say menacing because that feels wrong to say for a Prime, but he looks neat. Now, he does come with a whole bunch of stuff. The first thing that I want to show you, we kind of saw it before, is this Micromaster carrier. This is an homage to the original Star Convoy. There would be these little Micromaster carriers that would open up. They were spring-loaded, so you could stick a Micromaster in it, and it would come flying out. Now, before you say, well, you kind of dunked already on the Micromasters, you're right, I did. But this Prime does come with his own Micromaster, much like the original Star Convoy. He comes with a tiny little hot rod. And this is a neat looking hot rod, a little different silhouette. You know, he's got the spoiler on his knees rather than on his back. But if you want to transform him, he's a little bigger than your average Micromaster. But transformation is quite simple. You just kind of fold him up. Oop, hang on. I'm sorry, I forgot to move the heel pieces. The heel pieces have to go up. So then he will fold very simply like this. The heel pieces then become part of the hood of the car, or the top of the car. And boom, you have a pretty cool looking hot rod, who I believe will fit in this Micromaster carrier. So if you want hot rod out of sight, out of mind, Micromaster carrier, and then he rolls back out. Pretty neat. There are a couple things you can do with this hot rod if you want to. We will talk about that. But the Micromaster carrier itself, well, looking at his calves, or at his shins, they open up. So you can open up his shin. I'm going to open up this side. I'm going to move the ramp piece out of the way here. And this whole piece will go inside of here. So if you don't want this piece out on display, just give it a little press. It goes in the shin. And there you go. You can almost kind of forget that it's there. Now, if you want to store hot rod in that piece, you can. And leave the whole thing in his shin. That's fine. The other thing you can do with hot rod, bringing the camera back up, is the original Star Convoy allowed for hot rod to sit in his chest. And if you open it up, first off, in his chest, the zone energy, that is this Prime's artifact, is in here. Let me pull this out real quick. So that looks pretty cool. A little peg there. And there is a little hole at the bottom there, so you can just stick that in. But yeah, the original hot rod was able to kind of ride around in Star Convoy's chest. And you can do the same thing with this one. The only problem that I've come across while doing this is that he's a little too big to, like, to stand inside. So you kind of gotta maneuver him a little bit to, like, just to kind of fit while still letting these wheels close. So, like, it's like he's getting scrunched in there. It's probably not the greatest look, in my opinion. In fact, I can't get these wheels to close right now, so I'm going to keep playing with this. There we go. All right. And then, yeah, you can leave him in there. So hot rod's in there. A little bit of out of sight, out of mind. He's just kind of in there. and you can forget about him. If you really want him there, you can. I don't know if the package for this guy had any explanation as to why Hot Rod is a Micromaster for him. You know, it's kind of weird because, like, they're calling this thing on the package Star Optimus Prime when in fact it is like Star Convoy. And like you're trying to build this 13 Primes mythology while also homaging the original figure. I feel like this figure's having a bit of an identity crisis. So Hot Rod's inside his chest. You can't really see even with the translucent, stuff there. So let's go into his other accessories because there's quite a bit of them. The first thing I want to show you is this little piece. It is a kind of a weird looking thing. It is supposed to be a sword handle because he comes with this blue energy effect, which you can plug into this piece and it becomes, well, an energy sword. Now, my only gripe about this is while I think the handle itself looks fine, I don't love an energy sword that, I mean, quite honestly, it looks a little phallic, but I would like a sword that looks like a sword. This energy sword trait that the Transformers team's been using lately isn't my favorite, and I don't really love it. I would rather this have been like just a blue blade rather than this energy piece. I get how it can be cool and like because it's blast effect compatible, you can stick it on other things and it looks like he's firing a massive blast of energy. But I don't love using it as a sword, and like I did with the Micromaster trailer, the handle of the sword actually fits inside of his shin. So I'm going to put that inside of the other shin just to kind of keep it here and keep it, just keep it so I don't lose it. But so yeah, there we go. I'm not going to really ever use the sword. The weapons I tend to use are the big cannon here, which looks really cool. It has that neat molded bullet inside of it. So I'm going to put that in his hand here. And he does a pretty good job of holding it. Let me get that on camera so you can see. And you can have him hold this from pretty much anywhere. He can hold it here at this part, or he could hold it at the back. It's really up to you. I think the back tends to fit a little better and then look a little neater. So he's got the big rifle, and then this other blaster from before I can also stick in his other hand. And sorry, you have to use the blue part to have him do it. So kind of a weird looking blaster, but you can have him hold it if you want him to hold two things at once. He also comes with a whole bag of blast effects. He has these reddish kind of orangey blast effects. You can tell I've opened them. But yeah, so you get like 3 of this kind of blast effect, which looks really cool. We're used to seeing blast effects. And then there's like the multi-stage blast effect because it's this piece and that piece and that piece. So, you get like that big blast effect, which you could stick in the gun. You could stick on anything if you want. That is entirely up to you. Then there's also this type of blast effect that he comes with. Again, there's 2 of them. It's another multi-stage one where you have this real big one. You have the middle piece, kind of like a cone, and then you have the back piece. So he has a lot of blast effects. I like the blast effects. Objectively, I like blast effects. I never end up using them. They're great for action figure photography, but I don't think they're great in like just to have on a shelf. They're just there. That's kind of what it comes down to. So I'm going to move my blast effects aside for the moment. And I think we should probably take a quick look at this Prime with some other figures. And really the only one I'm going to put him with is this year's Commander class. It is Superion, just so you see how they look together. There we go. He's got quite a bit of height on Superion, and that's the thing that kind of bothers me. Superion and Minosaur, they are the absolute top of like my shelf display. I understand everyone's display is going to be different, But yeah, Superion like just fits, as does Minosaur. Star Optimus Prime will not fit. He's too big for my shelves, which kind of sucks because I was really looking forward to having all 13 primes on one cube of my display. Granted, I could bend his legs, I could make him bend a little bit, and he might fit. But I didn't want that. I wanted him to be, able to stand there looking cool. I might have to readjust and reevaluate where I'm putting my 13 primes, maybe at the top of my display shelf where it's more of an open space. That way he can just kind of be up there. But I was really looking forward to having them like in a cube, well lit and things like that. And probably not going to get to now. But yeah, here's how he looks with Superion. I think he looks cool. I kind of wonder when the Hasbro team said that this year's Titan class was going to be smaller and therefore, maybe a lower price point or something. I was kind of hoping for it to be a little smaller than this. I wanted something that, like I said, could easily fit in my display. And I don't really think this one can, but he is still pretty cool and I do like him. I'm happy we finally have an updated modern day Star Convoy. I really never thought we'd get this iteration of Prime. So it is very cool that we did. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do with him. I mean, if you want to see what he looks like next to like an Earthrise Prime, here he is. It's almost looked like he'd be holding his small baby or something. And I guess this is supposed to be the prime ancestor of all the other Optimus Primes. I think. I'm not even entirely sure what this character's like backstory is supposed to be, but there we go. I've been rambling a lot this time. I've been clunkily transforming him. I would love to know what you think of the new Star Optimus Prime Star Convoy figure. Did you pick it up? Are you sitting out this Titan class? Do you care? Are you going for all 13 primes? I'd love to know what you think. And I really just wanted to finally get this one on camera. He's been sitting off to the side of my display table for a little bit now. So anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Leave a like if you were so inclined. And remember, you can always check out the Rock Nerd Radio Show podcast. It is a weekly podcast hosted by myself and my good friend Vinny, where we talk about all different aspects of pop culture. There's bound to be something on there you're going to enjoy. So I guess until next time, I've been Dan. You've all been pretty awesome. That's been Star Optimus Prime, Star Convoy, whatever the hell you want to call him. I'll see you next time.